Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are taking our first look at the Aoba, the Tier 5 Japanese heavy cruiser. Now, we've already done a video a long time ago in the Furry Taco, so without further ado, let's get into our captain. We've got Isoroku Yamamoto. He is a level 8. He's a level 8, sorry. We do not have a second inspiration, but we've got Norman Scott as our main inspiration, which gives you the bonus to the precision of the main weapons. We have Beyond Range, we have Igniter, we have Punch Through, we have Fixated, and we have Fully Packed as our consumables. Now, if we get into the actual build of the ship, you'll see that I have Aiming Systems Mod 1 and Steering Gears Mod 2. You can switch this out for Propulsion Mod depending on your preference. Either's good, but being able to swing this thing out and get away from shells is pretty paramount. You do not want to take rounds in the ship from battleships anyway. So, of course, we're fully upgraded. If you look at our loadout, we've got 4 planes, 3 sonars. You're never going to use that many planes, but we need the extra sonar. I don't have a flag or camo on this or any boosters. Survivability, 31,900 hit points, pretty much right where you'd expect it to be. Torpedo damage reduction, almost non-existent at 4%. You don't want to take a torpedo in this thing. It's got 6 203mm guns, 2 2x3 at the front, and 1x2 or 3 at the rear. No, I'm wrong. It's 3x2, dummy. 2x2 at the front and 1x2 at the back. Let's try that again. Reaching out to 15.6 kilometers, reload time 10.5 seconds, 180-degree turn time 30 seconds. HE is the high point of this ship, which is 3,300 damage max on the shells and a 19.5% chance to fire, which I believe is the highest for a cruiser at this tier. Secondary armament, it has some. They're 120mm. They're actually decent secondaries, but you don't want to be getting in range to use them very often. Unless it's a destroyer, in which case you're probably going to be in trouble anyway for torpedoes. Torpedoes, we have 610mm torpedoes, and we have 8 of them. 1 on each side, that is 4 torps each side. They go 59 knots, so they're not slow, but they're not fast. They have a 10-kilometer range, but the worst part about the torpedoes on the ship is the torpedo firing angle. They're mounted at the rear of the ship, so you only have a limited firing angle, which means you have to give up a lot of broadside to launch your torpedoes, and that's what usually gets you killed in these Japanese cruisers. So be very cognizant when you're going for a torpedo run, because if you do it and you get hit, you're dead. Maneuverability, it's 35 knots top speed, which is quick for a cruiser. Turning circle, 710 meters. That is the exact same as the Alabama. You do not want to have to turn in the ship too much. You just don't turn very well. It goes really fast, so when you're turning, it just takes a long time to complete a circle. Rudder shift is down to 5.2 seconds, and the detectability is not bad, but not amazing, 11.4 kilometers by sea, 6.8 by air, and it has a 6.3 kilometer smoke firing penalty, so not terrible. Its Pyromania is above average chance for HE shells to set fire. We've already talked about that. Superior HE damage, which is the Japanese perk for their HE. They have a better overall damage for their HE shells. They do pack a wallop. And sluggish aim. The turrets do not turn fast in this ship, so make sure you're aware of that. Represented a further development of the Furitaka, with the main battery guns placed in twin turrets to achieve a longer gun range. Moreover, she outstripped her predecessor in torpedo armament, power, and AA defense capabilities. Entered service in 1927, and there were 2 ships built. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the ship, and then we'll get into the gameplay. Not a bad looking ship. Kinda like it. Alright. Alrighty, so let's get to the gameplay. Now, I'm not gonna lie, guys, this is not gonna be the level of damage you guys are used to, but I think it showcases pretty well what the Japanese cruiser line is going to be all about. And hopefully you guys are ready. I have had better games than this, just so you know. I have had better games, like 90, 100k games, but I really wanted to get a game that showcased kind of what the Japanese destroyer or Japanese cruiser. Why can I not say cruiser today? Japanese cruisers are meant for in the World of Warships Legends, scenario. At least in my opinion. Now, you guys know me. I'm the battleship guy, so you take this with a grain of salt. I'm not the cruiser guy. However, if you're on an open map, you have to do a lot of dodging while you're firing. It's usually best to use HE, but you can use the AP on these. The AP is not bad. You can definitely use AP, especially against broadsiding cruisers or broadsiding battleships. If you aim high, you can get good damage out of it. So don't hesitate to use AP. You're allowed to use AP. It is a heavy gun. It's not a 150 millimeter gun or a 127 millimeter gun. So the AP is usable. So can't stress that enough. I see a lot of Japanese cruisers that do nothing but fire HE, and the Atagos are a good mention for it. Atago is fully capable of putting a hurting on people with AP. And you guys know me, I'm not really the fire starter kind of guy. That's why I've kind of put off these couple cruiser lines, the HE cruisers like the Japanese line and the French line and the Russian line. Just not my play style. So that's why I haven't really played them. I can, but it doesn't fit my play style very well. But that being said, this fits my play style very well. We've got armor piercing loaded. A Königsberg is about to sail broadside on to God and everybody. We get our first salvo out and, wait for it, pow! Get our first citadel of the game. And he immediately dies to the Texas. That Texas is going to get pretty happy if you ask me. He's going to get to sit back there and just get to pick off all of our work. And by our work, I'm not talking about just me. It's me and the two cruisers that besides me. Because unlike a lot of the games that I've had recently, this one in particular actually had a pretty good team. Both sides did their jobs, both sides moved up when needed, and both sides absolutely controlled their side. It was actually a lot of fun. And it just so happened to be my first game of the day, which was even better. I like to have one of those games right off the bat, and then you can just kind of relax the rest of the time that you're playing, and it's not as stressful. Because, one of the biggest reasons that I complain all the time is because I'm stressed out, because I'm trying to get good games every single day, and it's not always possible. But we make it work, don't we? So, I'm just filling time while we have nobody to shoot at. If you haven't figured that out, then I apologize, but it is a thing. I didn't want to go sailing around the corner in front of a couple battleships, because both of their battleships are sitting in their spawn waiting for me to pop out. Now, obviously they're not just waiting for me, they're just sitting in their spawn waiting for anybody to come out. Now, my team has already started firing at him. As you can see, New York is on fire. Everybody's shooting at him currently, and by everybody I mean it's mainly just us cruisers at the moment. You can see I'm going to take a couple test shots. Now notice it does give me the symbol right there, the little mountain symbol, saying that I'm shooting into an island if I pull the trigger. But sometimes that is funky and will tell you like, hey, you're shooting into the island when it's the rear gun that'll shoot the island. I was hoping that my front guns would be able to arc over it, or we're past it. I was wrong both times. So now that we're past it for sure, we get a nice broadside on a New York, and we get a couple penetration. Well, one penetration, I should say. And you see, immediately I go to HE. He's got a fire burning. We're going to go ahead and try to set another fire. That fire's been burning quite a while. And look at the dispersion. The dispersion's actually pretty good on this. Not terrible. Not American cruisers. But, I mean, American cruisers have nothing but their guns. They have to be good. So, not quite American cruisers, but for the, what we are, it's not bad. And the fire chance is usually pretty good in this. However, I'm going to struggle a little bit to set a fire on this New York. Maybe it's because he just used his damage con to put out the fire, or maybe that fire burned out. I don't know, or I was just unlucky. Sometimes that happens too. But you can see I'm using the island in front of us, and we finally get our fire. Island in front of us to protect us from being detected, so that we can fire our guns without being fired back at. That is what these cruisers are meant to do. These cruisers like the Japanese and the Russian and the the French, they're meant to shoot, stand away, and shoot HE and burn people down. That's their shtick, okay? But The American cruisers have a little more armor, have a lot better armor piercing, and some of the other heavy cruisers that have really good armor piercing, like the Edinburghs, I say heavy cruisers. It's not really a heavy cruiser. It's got little guns, but either way, you can see we've got a second fire going. We are burning him down quite quickly now, and once we get past the initial oopsie. We just shot the island again because I was backing up. Again, I didn't want to get detected, so I was using the island to my left to help guard me from being detected. Next time I fire, though, I do believe, yep, I do get detected, both by line of sight and by the plane. And this New York's not long for this world. You get 3 cruisers sitting here burning you down, you're just not going to live very long. Pensacola gets the burning damage kill, even though I had 2 fires set, because that's how that works. Why would I ever get the kill? But then we shoot an Aoba and immediately get a fire on the Aoba. And you're going to see I switched to AP because it's a broadside cruiser. I don't know if this guy is AFK or what, but obviously he's not really doing anything. So I'm going to just go full broadside, get all the guns to bear. We're shooting armor piercing. We're looking to do some damage. And, of course, the Texas just absolutely deletes him. Taking away some potentially good damage from us, but leaving the Fuso out here broadside onto everybody. And we're going to go ahead and try to start a fire on him. Now, you notice I stopped behind the island. I don't want to get detected until absolutely have to. He is backing up. We get another immediate fire on him, and watch what he does. He puts it out immediately. I don't know how many times I got to say it. Do not extinguish one fire, especially if you are being fired upon by 3 cruisers all spamming high explosive. You're just gonna burn to death much quicker, because as soon as your damage con cooldown starts, you're gonna get set on fire, and he does. And now we're gonna shoot him with HE. Wait for it. Yep, another good hit. Over 1,000 damage done with 1 hit. He's starting to turn in, and it's about this time I'm like, you know what? This thing has really good long-range torpedoes for a cruiser. Let's go out and show you just how poor the torpedo firing arc is on this particular cruiser. And I believe this is a trait that sticks around for the rest of the tiers. So 6 and 7 are not going to get any better with the firing arcs. They are horrendous for your torpedoes. I see it all the time in Miyoko and Mogami when they go full broadside trying to get their torpedoes off. And I never quite understood why, until I realized that that's how bad the firing arc is on this ship. You have to go full broadside to get the rear torpedo mount, which is your only torpedo mounts, involved in the match. Now he's burning twice, and now we just set a 3rd fire, and it's not going to take long for him to burn to death, as he's taking more damage both from the cruisers to my right and the battleship to my right. And now, just as we're about to really get going, he started moving forward. We've got torpedoes on the way. We launched our torpedoes first. He's headed right for them. So we're going to go ahead after this salvo, switch to armor piercing, and get ready to start engaging. If the Fuso lives, which I don't think he's going to, because, hello torpedoes, how you doing? Goodbye, go back to port. Now we have a Pensacola off to our left to shoot at. Now we've got 50,000 damage. We've managed to cap 1, and we're working on capping a 2nd base, and we're fast approaching 1,000 cap points for our team. But we're going to make sure that we stay at home, get this cap capped first, and then we're going to go out to try to chase damage. Now you can see it is fully possible of doing damage with armor piercing, especially against the floating Citadel of Sadness. Wait for it. Oh, come on, we missed him. He slowed down, he's turning away. Surely this salvo is going to be much better. Nope, we're a little late that time, didn't lead him enough. Come on, Spartan, show him just how capable you are at aiming. Who needs auto-aim when you can curve it in just like that? Wait for it. Pow! 2 Citadels, lots of damage, not too shabby. And just as we launch our last salvo, we get another decent hit. Not a whole lot of damage there, all overpins. And we launch all the guns again, and the game is over before they reach the target, even though I'm fairly confident those would have finished him off. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. What is my opinion of them? Again, it's not really my playstyle, but we managed to do alright. 2,000 base XP, top of the leaderboard. It was a pretty well played game by everybody on the team, so there wasn't a whole lot of damage to be taken in that game, but it was a good showcase of the ship. And if you like this sort of thing, punch the like button for me. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video.